live here, in this small village surrounded by wild nature in northern Finland. There are about 25 of us living here. I think we have everything we could ask for. Pure, untouched nature, stretching as far as the eye can see. Crystal clear lakes. The quiet, beautiful abundance of the natural world. And the endless, ever-changing beauty of the seasons. But we also have long, cold winters when everything freezes and disappears beneath a blanket of snow. When the sun barely touches the landscape and everyday life becomes just a little bit harder. I've lived in the north for 5 years now, and to me, this place has become everything. It has shaped the way I see the world and the way I want to live. You've been asking me a lot of questions about what it's really like to live here, how we manage the long winters, what everyday life looks like, and what makes us want to stay. In this video, I'm answering some of those questions and taking you a little deeper into what life is like here in the north. The reason I live here is because of this nature. It is not just something you go out and experience on a weekend. It starts right outside our front door. It shapes the rhythm of our everyday lives, what we can do, how we spend our time, and sometimes the challenges we face. I think there's something very Nordic about seeing nature this way, not as something separate from everyday life, but as an essential part of it. And of course, living this far from everything comes with a few trade-offs. Life is a little less convenient and you have to plan around the distance. But to me, it is a very small price to pay for what we get in return. And now that I'm a mother, I see it in a whole new way. Every day I look at my daughter and think about how amazing it is that she gets to grow up here, surrounded by this wild, beautiful nature with so much space and freedom around her. And of course, everyday life still happens here too. We need to buy groceries and go to work and take care of all of the usual errands. The difference is that many of the services we take for granted are either far away or simply not available here. Luckily, northern Finland is a popular travel destination, so there are small tourist hubs scattered throughout the region with shops and services and restaurants that are open for at least part of the year. Some services are about 50 kilometers away in the nearest village center, while for others we need to drive several hundred kilometers. For example, when we drove to the hospital to have our daughter, it was a 4-hour drive. And still some of our healthcare appointments require that same journey too. While we live in a house that is nearly 200 years old, with many of its original features still intact, we do have the modern comforts that make everyday life a little easier. Electricity, running water, and all the simple conveniences that come with them. I also have what you might call a regular job as a music teacher, alongside making videos, taking photographs and creating knitting patterns. Having these modern conveniences means that even though we live far from everything, many of the everyday things we need to do are still quite simple. And honestly, almost everyone I know here in the north lives in what you could consider fairly ordinary modern homes. Living remotely doesn't necessarily mean living without modern comforts. Although I have many things I am deeply passionate about, I think I naturally live a fairly slow life here. But I still struggle with finding enough time for everything I love, and for the rest, quiet and stillness that I need just as much. Now that I have a baby, finding time for myself and my creativity is honestly even harder. But I do try to make the most of little moments here and there, whenever I can find a quiet moment to knit, create, or simply do something that's just for me. I don't think I have the answer to how to live a slower life or escape the pace of a busy world. I think it's something each of us has to find our own way, because everyone's path looks so different. But for me, it helps to focus on what truly matters: my family, our home, nature, and my creativity. I don't read the news at all, and I hardly follow what's happening in the world, which means I am probably not the best person to discuss the day's politics with. But it also leaves a little more room in my mind for the things I love: being in nature, creating, and spending time with the people close to me. I'm still learning what a slower life looks like for me, especially now that our days have changed so much. But I'm always trying to make room for the things that make life feel meaningful. The people I love, the quiet moments, and the little things that bring me joy. And if you have any good ways of finding a little more peace and slowness in the busiest seasons of life, or even in the middle of a city, I'd love to hear them. Maybe we can learn from each other.